Coming up, Governor Greg Abbott and Democratic candidate Beto O'Rourke face off in one-time-only debate. Details ahead. Plus, the City of Edinburgh is expanding businesses in the North Industrial Park Division. More information in minutes. And how are college students dealing with the increase in food prices? KVAQ-TV starts now. Hey there, vaqueros. Welcome back to this semester's 7th edition of KVAQ-TV. I'm Jessica Maya, and at the top of the hour, the Texas gubernatorial debate was held on September 30th at the UTRGV Edinburgh campus with Governor Greg Abbott and Democratic candidate Beto O'Rourke. Karen Lucero and Alba Cantu with the details on the debate.
Governor Greg Abbott agreed to a one-time-only debate against challenger Beto O'Rourke, where one of the conditions was an audience-free parlor, according to O'Rourke.
That's right, Karen. The hour-long debate took place at the Performing Arts Complex located right behind us. Some of the issues discussed include gun control, immigration, and reproductive rights.
Following the Uvalde shooting in May, Governor Abbott and O'Rourke were asked about their stance on raising the age limit from 18 to 21 to be able to purchase firearms like AR-15s.
We want to end school shootings, but we cannot do that by making false promises. The most recent Federal Court of Appeals decision on this particular issue said that it was unconstitutional for a state to raise the age from 18 to 21 for a person to buy an AR-15.
In response, O'Rourke acknowledged families of the Uvalde shooting who were present outside the building and called for Abbott to be held accountable for allegedly not taking action.
All we need is action, and the only person standing in our way is the governor of the state of Texas. In Florida, after the Parkland shootings, it was 23 days for that Republican governor to raise the age. And in those states where the age has been raised, mass shootings are down 80%.
In addition, other topics discussed were property taxes, police funding, teacher wages, and the energy grid. To watch the full debate, you can access valleycentral.com.
The elections will take place on November 8 with the deadline to register to vote October 11. For KVAQ-TV, I'm Alba Cantu.
And I'm Karen Lucero.
For the full recap, you can go online to utrgbtv.com. Now, in local news, the City of Edinburgh approved a numerous amount of contracts on September 20th to expand businesses in the North Industrial Park Division. Our reporter, Amada Valdovinos, is in Edinburgh with the story.
Jessica, this expansion is expected to help create over 585 jobs and bring necessary resources like gas stations, produce distribution sites, and commercial spaces into populated communities. The City of Edinburgh invested over $26 million and sold 36 acres of land to bring in more business. This project expected to have an estimated economic impact of $152 million. Council member for the City of Edinburgh, Daniel Diaz, says the expansion is expected to attract more residents to the city.
All those employees are going to need places to eat, places to put gas, places to buy snacks. So an area that doesn't have a lot of those things to eventually develop those needs. Not only that, some of these employees some will need to rent a place, some will move to Edinburgh because of the expansion there.
Diaz adds some of the benefits of the expansion in the North Industrial Park subdivision.
These businesses coming in to our city in no way raise taxes for anyone. They actually contribute and increase our fund to be able to do things within the city. As they come in, they provide tax base. They, like we talked about, they provide employment, and the buildings that they're building, their values, all that gets taxed into and those monies come into our budget.
Nicho Produce, one of the companies that signed with the City of Edinburgh, has been distributing in the South Texas area for 53 years. CEO of Nicho Produce, Tommy Villarreal, mentions they have outgrown their current facility and adds that he's looking forward to expanding with the help of the city.
Since we've been here for 53 years, we wanted to continue to be here. I know there's a lot of produce places down in the far area, but it's very, very congested. It's difficult to get to the expressway when traffic is busy, and I think that kind of just sets us apart. You know, there's fewer wholesale distributors in this area.
Diaz shares the City of Edinburgh is now the 5th fastest growing city in Texas, surpassing 100,000 residents, and expects to expand more within the coming years. You can also expect to see the new developments completed in the next 2 years.
For KVAQ-TV in Edinburgh, I'm Amada Valdovinos.
With food prices rising, people all across America are feeling the hit to their wallets. How are college students dealing with the increase in food prices? Xavier Aguilar with the story.
Jessica, with soaring prices, students are having to rethink what food to put in their cart and how much of it to buy. In the most recent report from the Consumer Price Index, food prices have increased at an average of 11%, placing a strain on some people's budgets.
Go out and eat, but it's something that I try not to indulge as much, just because it's something that, I have to take into account finances. I have to make sure, at the end of the month we have enough money for bills and things relevant to that.
According to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics Consumer Price Index report, for August 2021 to August 2022, items like eggs are up 39.8%, meat is up 6.7%, chicken is up 16.6%, fresh fruits and vegetables are up 9.4%, and non-alcoholic beverages and beverage materials such as juices and sodas are up 13.4%. Associate Professor of Economics Gautam Hazarika explained some of the factors affecting inflation.
So the inflation we have today is a combination of both. A rise in the cost of raw materials because of supply chain disruptions, and also a rise in demand caused by this pent-up demand that is now showing itself. So they were all frustrated, and so when COVID kind of petered out or diminished, people began to frequent restaurants more often, start spending more.
Computer engineering student Pedro Garcia shares what he is doing to survive inflation.
Most of the time, I try not to eat out, so I make sure not to go to restaurants on a daily basis or even weekly basis. I make sure to prioritize getting low-cost food, so chicken, rice, beef, things relative where I can make sure to eat throughout the week. Things relevant to that because, on a daily basis, if you were to have 3 takeout meals, that could, accumulate to anywhere to $20 to $30 depending on where you go. So,
students who are experiencing food insecurity can go to the UTR-TV food pantry at the Brownsville and Edinburgh campus to receive help. For KVAQ-TV in Edinburgh, Xavier Aguilar.
The Texas Department of Transportation had a press conference last Wednesday to discuss their End of the Street campaign. The End of the Street campaign aims at ending daily fatal crashes on the Texas road by conducting surveys and evaluations on traffic accidents. District Engineer for Texas Department of Transportation says Texas population has increased. In 1970, 350,000 people lived in the valley. That number is now 1.5 million.
People just choose to take that risk. And to me, that's unacceptable. Why are we taking a risk? Why are you choosing to potentially be involved in an accident, a fatality, and your kids are not going to get to see you that day? Or you're not going to get to see your mom or your dad? Think about that.
The Texas Department of Transportation takes every fatality seriously and investigates the potential causes. Texas DOT says they have reduced speed limits across Texas after surveying and evaluating roads on a daily basis. Sergeant Maria Montalvo says the 4 main reasons that contribute to fatalities on the road is driving over the speed limit, not buckling up, driving intoxicated, and driving distracted.
One of our strategic goals in Texas is to save lives and property. So if it means us putting our lives on the line, we will continue to do it because it's so obvious that we still have a lot of work to do.
Alvarez advises people not to drink and drive. Call an Uber, friend, or family member. With weather changes, the tire pressure fluctuates. AAA Exchange states to always inspect your tires before a long trip. For more information, you can go to the website below. Multinational technology company Zoho is a globally recognized software corporation that has recently expanded its offices to McAllen. Felix Valderas with the story.
Zoho fuels a worldwide network. With a new office in McAllen, Zoho is adding to the valley's growth. Head of the McAllen office, Tejas Gadia, talks about the focus of the Zoho company as a whole.
We make a bunch of different stuff. We make about 55 different apps for everything a business would need, from email to project management to finance to CRM to marketing to custom apps. You get the idea. Everything. That's all the Zoho brand.
Gadia says that the offices that used to be based in metropolitan city areas became unaffordable for a lot of people. McAllen was the place that checked off the most boxes for them to expand into.
Between good, I would say, cultural vibe, good check boxes in terms of education, healthcare, safety, affordability, and then connectivity was big too. It just checked all the boxes. Honestly, I would say we didn't really expect one city to check as many boxes as McAllen did, but it ended up working out that way.
Even though Zoho has a global presence, it also has a local presence. Gadia explains the idea and purpose behind transnational localism.
In general, it's just this idea of having more folks that are local to a region, supporting people in that region, and also not losing that connection to where the majority of folks are.
KVAQ-TV spoke to account executive Silvestre Trevino about his experience working for Zoho.
I was a little apprehensive at first. I just really wasn't sure that this was like a legitimate offer, legitimate job opening, because it matched everything that I was looking for. There's quite a few things that are different, in my opinion. You know, it has some of the resemblance of a corporation, but working for a global software company that kind of still has very almost like startup culture. The nuances is very different. It's something that I've never experienced before.
The McAllen Zoho office is expected to expand and stay in the Rio Grande Valley. With KVAQ-TV in Edinburgh, this is Felix Balderas.
That is all for today. Make sure to watch us Monday through Friday on VCAS Managers and on social media. You can also tune into the Vaquero Radio on the Radio FX app. For KVAQ-TV, I'm Jessica Maya. Stay safe, Vaqueros.